Hello everybody, welcome to Chosen's Create Integrated. This is the first series of this channel. Hopefully there will be many more. I thought this would be a good one to start with as it is a smaller, simpler pack. First off, I am not running this on a server, so it might be a little laggy at times, so bear with me. Now, this is a pack created by Chosen Architect. If you have not seen him, I will have his videos posted in somewhere in the video, either description somewhere. And you can go watch his series on this. I will also have another YouTuber, Praefectus Series, on this posted down there, as he explained this mod pretty well as well. So, second, here we go. We are going to be playing in survival. Next thing we want to do is we're going to go to More, Game Rules, and we're going to scroll down until we get to the Nether Portal delay. So this is what the delay of how we switch dimensions into the Nether, and we're going to go from the traditional 80 to 50. So it's faster on me when I enter the Nether. Next, we're going to scroll down a little bit more and go to the entity cramming threshold. We're going to up that from 24 to 30. When dealing with Ars Nouveau, which is in this, you want to go up to anywhere from 30 to 50, specifically because of Drigmies. The more Drigmies there are, the faster it goes, so that's why we're upping this to 30. Next, we are going to go down a little bit more, and we're going to find lava becomes source. And we're going to turn that on. Just normally I would have to make a 16 by 16 hole, fill up a whole chunk, and then dig that down to 100 blocks to make lava infinite. But this is going to solve that problem. Lava is going to act like water now. I may turn this off later, but for now we're going to turn this on and leave this on. Make sure there's nothing else that we need to turn on real quick. Okay, so now we're going to go to World. We're actually going to be playing in Chosen Seed. So we're going to turn on the bonus chest. Though we don't need it, I am going to turn it on. Because he gave it to us. If you would like to play to play in a random seed, I can play in a random seed, and I'll redo this series, and we can play and do it that way. But I'm going to play in Chosen Seed for now. As I wanted to play in the world that he was playing in. So, there you go, that's the seed. If you want to play in this too, pause the video, there's the seed. Now, we are going to turn on commands. As if you've ever played mods, you would know why we are turning on commands. Things happen. Structures don't generate properly. Items just disappear. Different things happen. So you want commands on. We're not going to use them unless absolutely necessary, but we're going to turn them on. Next, we're going to name the world Create Integrated. And then I'm going to put the start date, which the start date is July 2026. So I have that start date for the world. I know when we started, so I know how long it takes. Now, if there is something you think I could do better, I should have done, or there's something specifically you would like to see, please let me know in the comments, as I will read them, and and if there's anything helpful down there, I could use it. Again, if you want to see this world in a random seed, you can also let me know, and I will do another series on this after this one in a random seed, and we can redo this whole mod if you want to. if you would like to see that. Now, we actually start off holding the FTB quest book, because FTB is in here. Just some random iron golem. Hi. FTB Speed the Beast, you've probably heard them from other mods and mod packs and stuff. For those of you who don't know, they are a group that makes decent mod packs. So there is a bunch of them. FTB quests in here, quests will keep you on track of what you need to do for this mod. So normally they give you this book, and you right click it, and it gives you everything you need to know about the quest. The first one is already completed, we join the world, and it gives me all the items here. When I first played this, you had to actually click that, so I like that he updated that, and it just gives it to you right away. Second quest, we're actually going to click that, as it lets us go anywhere and access the quest book. Without it, if we didn't click that, we can't access the rest of the quest book. So now we don't need to right click the book. We can have this anywhere in our inventory or in a chest later on when we get to chests. Just throw them in a chest. And if we set a keybind on here, which if you go to the pause menu, you go to options, controls, keybinds, and we look up FTB, no, that's Ultimine, which is set there to that key, the grave key, for those of you wondering. It's under quests. So quests, I have it set already to control Q. Q is this way because it tells me that's for quests, and Q is my throw button, so control Q. Now I can access it, and I always remember that that's quests. But it can be any keybind you wish, but now that I have it set there, see, it can open up the quest book just by hitting that key. And getting started, it looks like we need to make some andesite alloy, so we'll get into that later. We're actually going to gather resources right now. That's villager. Just ran by, jumped off the roof, tried to kill himself. Alright, so, for those of you who don't know, if you hit the grave key, which is below the escape key, above the tab key, it's that weird looking symbol button. If you press that, while it's in shapeless mode, we can actually mine out all blocks that are similar to each other. And so I'm going to mine out this roof, and we're going to gather wood. And we're going to start off by gathering wood because it's going to be very essential later on. As basic Minecraft is, it's all gathering wood is basic, but especially for this. Now here in this corner, right here in this left corner, that's actually, if you push that button right there, we're going into your player icon by pressing E. You actually access the curio inventory. This curio is in here. These goggles we were given at the start are from Create. You cannot see anything from Create without these goggles. You need them. They cannot go anywhere but your curio and head slot, though. If you watch, I'm going to try to put it, as you can see, there's the curio, there's your head. But if you watch, I'm going to try to put it in other spots, and it will not let me put it elsewhere. So it has to go there. Now, the reason why we're putting it there is because it could go on our head slot where our armor is, but we need to wear the armor. So we're going to put it there so we can still wear armor and yet still be able to use the goggles. Now, if we hold shift right click, and I don't place it down, we can actually pick up villagers and put them in our pocket, because easy villagers is in here. So it makes gathering up villagers a lot easier. For those of you who don't know, usually you have to put them in a boat and then drag the boat around, and it's annoying. But easy villagers makes that easy. I can just put it in my pocket and walk off with a villager. Age of Villagers has a lot of cool stuff, which we'll also get into later. Now, Looter is in here. Looter allows, well, it randomizes the quality of chests, but when you mine it out, you see it won't let you mine out chests that naturally generate. As you can see right there with that command. But if you hold shift, now I don't recommend doing this if you're playing on a server so others can gather this, but if you're playing by yourself or you genuinely server mates don't care. Hold shift and then mine it. And as you can see, it gives you the chest. Now you can hold Alt to mine for everything. As you can see, I'm using that here to mine this out. It does cost your hunger, but it is worth it in the end. As you're mining, you're able to mine out a lot of different things a lot faster. If I was holding a tool, it would also cost the durability of the tool, which is why I'm not using a tool for just mining out trees. I could use it on the leaves. I'm not going to use it on the leaves as they're going to despawn, so it's fine. But you can use it to mine out flowers and grass, like so. So yeah, I picked up all that. And you can also use it to mine out crops, doing the same thing. If I hold that grave key down and right click and click to mine like I did there, I could break all that. Now, the reason why I said shapeless is there is other functionalities that Ultimine gives you, like we can mine escape tunnels, mining tunnels, straight down if we wished. But so shapeless is probably the main thing you're going to use right now. But when you go mining later on, you can change the form. Which when you're holding down the grave key, if you hold shift, you won't see me use it here. I'm just picking up villagers with easy village again. That's shift right click. But if you hold down that grave key and hold shift and then you scroll wheel, you can actually go through those different forms. And here you're going to see me hold down Ultimine, and I let go of the grave key. What happens when you let go of the grave key is it demines it out like normal. So always hold down that grave key, which again is below escape, above tab, and you get all of that right there. See? Now later on there will be ways to mine out a whole tree without needing that. But early game, Ultimine is probably going to be your best friend. As you Sorry, excuse me. As you can see, we instantly mined up all that grass. Now, I'm going to make camp here, outdoors for now. Just gives me a place to put the chest down. Oops. That's not where I wanted that. But anyway, while I gather resources, I will be looting this whole village, so I do plan on taking down all these houses later, so me mining all these roofs is no problem. As I don't want any of these houses here, so they're all going to go eventually, but here's the bonus chest. Go ahead and take it. And that's zinc. That's unique to create. It's an ore unique to create, but you can't actually mine it with an iron pick, so I'll have to come back for it. Well, it looks like we got a backpack in here. Backpacks are interesting as they're like an extension to your inventory. So they work as a second inventory, which to access you would normally put it in your hotbar and we would right click the backpack to get into it. Which I'm going to throw the villagers in there because they make an annoying noise. You can still hear them while they're in my pocket. And there's actually a curio slot for that, the back slot. Now it has to go in the back slot. It can't go anywhere else. Now, going into the options again, controls, keybinds. You can set a keybind for the backpack too. I set mine to B. So I'm just gonna go around gathering the villagers. While they're in here, you won't hear the villagers. So but yeah, it acts like an extension to your inventory, so it's like a second inventory that you can access at any point as long as you keybound it. The backpack is. We're gonna loot the nether portal here. Just gonna. And you see that backpack already coming in handy. Since we got that backpack, it acts like a second inventory. I can throw some stuff in this bag and go. Now, backpack. The value of the backpack is we can actually upgrade the backpack, and the backpack can get bigger, so that we can get more inventory slots than what we have. Now, another thing we were given at the beginning when we restarted was a sack. A sack can be placed down and picked back up, and it's kind of like a bundle or something, but instead of holding just one stack, it can hold up to 9 stacks of items, or 9 unstackable items of your pick. And then we can just pick it back up and walk off with it. Okay. So I'm just going to check out this burnt house real quick. Be right back. Okay. Now, I am collecting, as you can see, I'm going to be gathering some flowers here and some seeds and stuff, as those will be used mostly for bone meal and dye, but we can also use them for decoration. The cauldrons here are going to be used later on when we get into create. I will show you when we get into create what they'll be used for. So I'm going to collect those too. And I'm just going to go around and again just dismember these houses mostly and gather resources and keep looting for a while. Okay. Another cool thing that we can do here is I can see these here. I can add extra trapdoors on these trapdoors. Doesn't really matter how, it just creates a row of trapdoors. Then use Ultimine by again holding down Grave Key and mining. And it actually is going to see how it registers all of them now. It's actually going to allow me to mine all of them at once, which is in a way is actually a little bit faster too. So sometimes if you're trying to break something down and you want to be a little bit faster, it's always good to sometimes add some blocks so you can connect pieces that are the same and then use Ultimine to tear it out. Now back to looting. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna go in here and look in here real quick. Oh, good, there's a crafting table. Okay, so we don't have a crafting table yet, as I haven't crafted one. Now, for those of you who do know, if you know your Minecraft, you know you would normally pick up make a crafting table, have to carry it around with you, place it down on the ground. Well, we're playing modded, we don't have to do that. We can make a crafting table on a stick, but the thing you need to know about a crafting table on a stick, you cannot have the stick on top like that, and it can't be in a vertical position, top or bottom. It also can't be in a horizontal position like this. Then, for diagonal, the stick cannot be on top. The stick has to be on bottom. The crafting table has to be on top. It doesn't matter which way you build it. See, still horizontal can't be. But, right there. See how I built it at a diagonal? It doesn't matter which way you build it. The stick on bottom, the crafting table on top, and it has to be built at a diagonal. And that gives us a crafting table and a stick. A crafting table and a stick is essentially a crafting table in your pocket. There is a curio slot for this, it can go in our curio slot, or there is a designated slot for a crafting table and a stick. Now, you put this there, keeps it out of your inventory, makes it easier to carry around. Now, same way we did it last time with the keybinds, options, controls, keybinds, we can actually set a keybind. I set mine to Control C, so we can access a crafting table that way. I'm just going to loot a bit more real quick. Control C, that way I know C is for crafting, and there you go. Here. Alright, it looks like, as you saw back there, probably, I'm going to organize this stuff to my chest real quick. As you can see, we got some early game iron, but we did get. Here's an example of artifacts here. If we complete the puzzle, connect all the dots, we can actually get the artifact. And this one was actually boots of speed, tennis shoes, which increased my speed by a certain amount, and it turns out to have increased it by 52%, which is already significantly faster. So when I'm sprinting, it gives me a 50% boost to speed. And now, the more you use it, the more level up you get. A lot of these have different abilities you can get, so the more you use it, the more you level it up. But you can also put XP into increasing them. So you can increase what it can already do base-wise. Now, let's continue looting this a little bit, and then here in a second you'll see what I'm talking about. I found some iron right here, so I'm going to make a pick real quick. And we're going to get our first bits of raw iron that we haven't looted, actually. We have looted a bit from the chests, but again, with those flowers, we're going to need them later, as we're going to be making some bone meal and some dye. So that's how I start getting our first bits of iron. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Actually, coming up here in a second, you'll see where I find a cave. Right here. And I'm actually picking up stuff and going to put down some torches, and there's some iron up here I'm about to loot. And I run into a creeper. Dodged it. And then I run into two more. And a skeleton. Here's where I tried to get that one, but it didn't, so I had to get the third one to blow up and blow up our skelly friend, because I was trying to get the second one to blow up our friend instead. So, skillfully evaded 3 creepers right there. Anyway, I'm just going to keep looting, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so here's an example of, you can place down chests with this mod, and you can keep them individually. So normally when you place them side by side, they become double chests like this. But you can actually place them down and keep them single chests, and also face them different directions if you wish. That is, I believe, a part of supplementaries. I might be wrong on the mod. You guys can let me know down there that does that. And then here I found a pocket pistol, which is another artifact. So anyway, I will bring you back here shortly again. So just using some of those flowers to make bone meal here in this composter we found earlier, as we're going to be using bone meal later on. to get some crops early game is there's going to be a couple things you're going to be crafting in a few of these mods that are going to need a couple of crops, so we will need some bone meal for some early game crop production. Now, one thing I will show you here is, you remember, it does matter where you're facing and what block you're standing on, but that block you are standing on and the direction you're facing will be set permanently. We're going to use the dash set home command. It's one of the only commands we're going to be using, and this will actually set our home. Now, what dash set home does is give us access to it. So you do see how I have to face this way. Now, I will always be facing this way from now on when I use this command. So if I go dash, so it's just dash set home, and it sets my home to that block now, in that direction, on that block in front of my bed there. Now, the reason why we did that was it actually allows me to use the dash home command, so I could be all the way over here or way out somewhere and use dash home, and I will always come back to the block. Now, that is a glitch I'm finding there where I'm partially spawning into the block there, but it will always pull me back in this block. So it's a little cheaty method, but we could be in the nether and I think I'm going to die, and I could just spawn my way back home. Alrighty, so just wrapping up a little bit here of my looting and resource gathering. I am made me a nice little, as you can see, I'm making me a nice little camp here. Now, one of the last things I'm going to be doing is we're going to go ahead and finish that nether portal we saw over there. And right there, what I just used was the /back command. It might have been a little too fast for you to see there, but I will show that to you better later on. All it does is the last place I used the /home or the last place I died, it can send me back to. But you have to have your home set in order for it to work. So that's why we set our home too. So here we're going to build this portal, start it up. It looks like we entered right in a nether portal fortress, so I'm not going to deal with that right now. I'm just going to gather some nether wart, do this. Thanks you guys for watching the first episode of this. I time-lapsed most of this as it is just me going around gathering resources and stuff we're going to need later on. Between episodes, I will probably explore more and do a lot of that resource gathering so you don't have to sit through it. But for now, thank you guys for watching. If you like this, please like, please subscribe. Let me know if there's a specific direction you would like to see me go with this.